Hello and welcome to Flipped Maths with Mrs. Hoog. Today our topic is chance, and we are learning to label everyday events as being impossible, unlikely, even chance, likely or certain to happen. We are also learning to label events as being independent or dependent on events that have already happened or have happened before a given event. Let's look at some information to start off. This is just a little line of the order of these ones. We've got impossible, unlikely, even chance, likely, and certain. So even chance just means that it's 50-50. If you toss a coin, it's either going to land on heads or it's going to land on tails. It's 50-50, it's even chance. We've got likely and then leading towards certain, like it definitely will happen. You're certain it will happen. Unlikely, which means maybe not. And impossible, which means no chance at all. It's impossible. Then we've got dependent events. Events are dependent if one event relies on the other to happen or not to happen. So an example is last month was August, this month is September. So this event here, this month being September, I know this month isn't right now, but if the month was September, it would have had to have been August before September for September to happen. That means it just relies on this one happening first. Independent events are basically if one event does not rely on another event to happen. It's just the opposite of dependent, really. It can happen all on its own. For example, I roll a dice and I get a 3. If I roll that same dice and I get a 6, rolling the 6 was not dependent on rolling the 3 previously. So I did not have to roll a 3 in order to roll a 6. It was just going to be quite random of where the dice would land. Alright, please remember to rewind and pause the video at any point if you need to. Let's look at some example questions. Rub that one off. Alrighty, so make sure it's not going to wobble. Here we have the first example. This is broken up into, this is labelling events on their likelihood of happening. So this is, is it impossible, certain, etc. And so label the following event as being impossible, unlikely, even chance, likely, or certain to happen. A baby born is a girl. It's an even chance. When a baby is born, it will be a boy or it will be a girl. So it's an even chance there. Label the following event as being impossible, unlikely, even chance, likely, or certain to happen. Someone's birthday is on December 32. It is impossible. That is because December does not go onto being at the 32nd day of December. It just does not exist, so it's impossible. This section here, label the second event as being dependent or independent on the first event. Event 1, the dice rolled a 6. Or you rolled a 6 on the dice. The next roll on the dice was a 5. It's independent. The second one is independent because if I roll a 5, I do not need to have rolled a 6 before in order to get a 5. It's just random. We don't rely on each other. So next one, label the second event as being dependent or independent on the first event. Event 1, I bought a pie for lunch and ate it. Event 2, I am no longer hungry after lunch. So if you should no longer be hungry after lunch, you would have need to have eaten something. So these two are related. So the second one here relies on the first one for it to happen. Okay, label the second event as being dependent or independent on the first event. Event 1, I ate pikelets for breakfast. Event 2, I read a magazine. You do not need to have eaten pikelets for breakfast in order for you to then read a magazine. It does not need to happen one after the other. So this one here is independent of the first one. Alright, so now looking on our homework sheet, a few questions. I'm just going to get a blown up version of it. Label the following event as being impossible, unlikely, even chance, likely, or certain to happen. A woman will celebrate her birthday on the 30th of February. Label the following event as being, again, a baby is born a boy. Now looking at independent and dependent events. Label the second event as being dependent or independent of the first event. Event 1, the dice rolled a 1. We rolled a dice and a 1 came up. Event 2, the next roll on the dice was a 4. second event as being dependent or independent of the first event. Event 1, I bought a pie for lunch and ate it. Event 2, I watched some television. Same one here. Same sort of question. Event 1, I ran to the letterbox to get our mail. Event 2, I read the mail from our letterbox. Is the second one dependent on the first one? So does the second one here need the first one to happen in order for the second one for it to happen? So have a think and record those answers on your homework sheet. Please pause the video now. Alright, here are the answers. We've got the first one is impossible, and we've got even chance, independent, independent, and dependent. Please record those answers on your homework sheet where it says the check in the check column. And please make sure that you record when you might be able to use this in your real life and any questions or comments that you may have. Thank you so much for listening to and watching this video on chance.